On this edition of Monroeville at your service, we combine the best parts of our previous shows. It's a maze mashup, and it starts right now. Hello, and welcome to this special edition of Monroeville at your service. I'm your municipal manager, Alex Graziani, and today we have a little compilation of sorts. Our show, since its reboot, has been gaining momentum with new viewers each month, and we're thrilled to have you on board. So for those new to the program, we wanted to get you caught up on some of the things you may have missed. Typically, we start our show with a discussion segment with a municipal employee to give residents a sense of who is working to serve them. There have been some really good and informative conversations so far on the show. Take a look at some of the best moments. If you got free food and free t-shirts, you can count me in. So this is this year's t-shirt.
Yes.
Very nice.
This year's design, it's a different design every year. So this year's design, we're honoring the police officers here at the municipality who were shot recently, and all the police officers. It's Project Blue Light, so we decided to put it on the t-shirts, and that's we're honoring the police this year.
Yeah, so the Blue Light is a national program actually that residents anywhere in the United States, if they can have one of their outdoor lights or maybe a light that's visible to the outside that is inside that's blue, it just says to the police, we support you and we're glad that you're protecting our community. And as you mentioned, you know, Monroeville's gone through a lot this past year with two officers being shot while on duty, and it's become really important for us to have that.
Yeah, I thought that was just a good thing to do.
Yeah.
You know, cleanup's a good thing to do, but honoring them as well is also good.
Not knowing your dad, Jack, I'm sure that he'd be really, really proud to see that.
Yeah, he was something. He was always making people laugh. I mean, everybody loved him because he always did for everybody. Yeah. And so you know what, he would love this. He would absolutely love this because he loved kids. He loved to see them. You know, he would bring pumpkins home every year for all the kids, Christmas trees for all the kids. So he would love this.
That got us up to that 50 category, 56 category. So I watched the department kind of really grow. We were starting to see, you know, the mom and pop farm community that we were at one time, we were no longer. And certainly, you know, Route 22, in the Turnpike and the Parkway and everything associated with the highways, we started to see a different crime level.
And hearing you talk, obviously, for a person who's getting near their 40th anniversary, the past 6 months have been really challenging, maybe the most challenging of your entire year of service. For the first time in Monroeville PD's history, we've had an officer shot, but not only one who was shot in the line of duty, thankfully surviving, but two who was shot in the line of duty. And again, we are thankful for his recovery. Talk a little bit about that as chief. What was that like for you and for your team to experience that kind of trauma?
Well, it was obviously different. It's my first time in my career. Now, you know, sadly in my career, I've been involved with other departments that have actually lost officers. Mm-hmm. But you know, certainly to have it in your own department, it was a different experience. I mean, I am proud of all days, you know, how the officers handled that. How, you know, taking the suspects into custody, everything that went along with that, from the investigation, which the county police assisted, at least in this county. One ended up in Westmoreland County, but the Westmoreland County detectives, how they did it, how they assisted it, how our officers assisted them because they had the lead agency. So we did all of that appropriately. The officers acted heroically in both events. I couldn't be more proud of them. I mean, they were just off the charts. Any department across the country, I'm sure any chief in the country would have been happy to have the officers act the way they did. My hat's off to both officers.
I agree with you. The pride that we have in their response in the textbook, best practice, how they handled the situation was amazing.
And even the community's response after it was off the charts. You know, we have that blue light project where people put blue lights up to show the support. We had signs. I mean, we tried to keep it on the low key as much as we could, because we tried, hey, it is part of the job. It is a risk that we know we have. But again, the officers just did an outstanding, all the officers, the ones involved in making the arrests after the fact, the officers that were involved, one was a pursuit. They all did just an outstanding.
This is the time of year where you guys really shine in one of your biggest efforts, and that's in the road paving program. Can you help us, Paul, understand how does that work? You have 110 miles of road, and we have about $2 million of budget. How do we make that work? Because it seems to me that, to build a mile of road might even cost $1 million, let alone $2 million to kind of maintain 110 miles. So how do you guys do that?
Well, we take the approach, typically in October of each year, we'll start looking at the roads. So like I said, we have 110 miles of roads. Go out and drive each road. There's nothing that tells you the story.
So every year roads get looked at?
Correct. I mean, your eyeball tells you. So if a road is newly milled and paved within 2 years, we would do what's called a fog seal. That's the first step to it. The next step to it is, after they're a few years old, you'll see stress marks and cracks in your road. We're very aggressive with doing crack sealing on our roadway system. We do that in-house. We have the capability of in-house. And I usually call it the half-life of a road, 7 years. We'll do a seal coating of the road. Not the most popular methodology, but it's something we have to do because we just simply can't afford to mill and pave a road anymore. It just costs too much money. To mill and pave a road, in this year's monies, it's $260,000 per mile. Where if you seal coat a road, it's $60,000 per mile. So there's a huge difference in cost. So at a half-life, at 7 years, we try to seal coat it. It prolongs it. We try to get to a 12 to 15-year life cycle out of every road. That's our goal, to keep our roads maintained to what we need to be. We looked at our roadway system 10 years ago, probably 12 years ago. We were 50 miles behind schedule on milling and paving of a road. We had to change the way we did business. We couldn't afford to mill and pave every road, but you couldn't afford not to do anything.
Currently, we have 21 parks in Monroeville, roughly 820 acres of park land. How many of that's developed? I would say probably around 500 of that property is developed between playgrounds, court systems, picnic areas, a variety of different things. We have just an array of different locations throughout Monroeville, and each one of those parks have where we can actually rent out parks. We have 10 locations that we can rent out on a daily basis. We run that from May until almost October. It's a great opportunity. This year alone in the park system, we have, I think roughly, I just looked at it, 570 park rentals this year so far. So it really takes up a lot of our time over the summer. It's something that we thoroughly enjoy, to offer people the opportunity to get out into our park systems and enjoy.
And adding to the neighborhood parks, about 20 years ago, the municipality acquired what we call Community Park West, but it really has become our central park community gathering space. So what's that like?
Monroeville Park West is definitely always busy and bumping. We always have something going on up there, if not 10 different things going on up there. We have Monroeville baseball and softball that use the fields, Monroeville soccer's based out of there, 5 picnic pavilions that are consistently fully rented out during the weekends all summer long, beautiful amphitheater, mud and gazebo, and a summer concert series that happens every Sunday evening in the park.
And we're also too fortunate that we can have special events up there. We actually have a professionally done 5K racing paths that people can utilize, and we get like 4 or 5 events up there a year for that also. So it's a very popular park. It's going to get more popular because we just recently converted some of our courts up there. We are now going to have 12 permanent pickleball courts. But we're not taking away any of the other amenities. We're going to still have the tennis courts. We're going to still have the basketball court.
So
what we try to do at the library, of course, we have everything people expect us to have. We have the bestsellers, we have the children's books, we have, your mysteries and your thrillers, we have nonfiction, movies, but we also have non-traditional items. Things that people maybe wouldn't have at home, but they want to try it out. So you want to start a hobby, you want to try sewing, but it's quite an investment to put money into a sewing machine. You can borrow one. And
Wait, you mean you don't have to go there to try it? I mean, you could, but then you could sign
you
it
can
out.
take this home. It actually comes in a very nice bag that I took it out of. And you can take this home and play with it, and it has directions with it. There are classes that you can take.
So this is a sample of one of the things that are very non-traditional that you can, like a book, borrow and then return.
Yes, yes.
Now these things I'm really excited about. As a new granddad,
Yes.
having a granddaughter just born a couple weeks ago, I love to read books to my kids and now to my granddaughter. So we got some books here.
Yes.
Representative of our great collection.
I did not bring any traditional books because people know we have those. But these are called Wonder Books. And they actually inside have, they play the book. So if a child wants to read it to themselves, they hit play and they just turn the page when it beeps or makes a bell sound. I'm dating myself, but I had this in record form.
Okay.
But now it's right in the book. And this one right here is really exciting.
I like that it has
because
Alex. It must be really highly intelligent or something.
Of course.
Yes.
This is bilingual. It's English and Urdu. And this
Wow.
is from a
Yeah.
grant that we received called Celebrating Our Communities. And we were able to add to our collection books in languages that are spoken in our community.
I really enjoyed some of these discussions. Quite frankly, for me, as the new municipal manager here in Monroeville, having these conversations on the show has given me a better opportunity to learn about those we have serving here and the duties they perform. One of the big reasons for rebooting this show is that we hope it does the same for you. I encourage you to watch the full versions of these sit-down interviews on the Monroeville Municipal Television YouTube page. On the way next, the best from our Out on the Town segment, when this special edition of Monroeville at your service returns. Welcome back to Monroeville at your service. Last segment, you heard Police Chief Doug Cole talk about his goal to have 50 officers on staff within the department. That number currently sits at 47, with a few officers having just recently been hired. A few months back, I had a chance to do a ride-along as veteran officer Derek Yeoman was in the midst of training one of our newest recruits. That's where we'll start the best from our Out on the Town segment. And today, you're doing training.
Yes, I'm a
with Raleigh here.
field training officer.
So what's that like in Monroeville? A new person comes on, did they spend a couple days, a week? How's it work?
They actually spend a month on each shift riding in the car with somebody, and then they spend another month on each shift individually, total of 6 months. But the second half of it, they're in a car by themselves, and their field training officer kind of shadows them.
And it's like a probationary period as well, right?
Correct.
Not to make you stress, Robbie, but it's like, part of it is not only to give the training, but to really test the fitness of the individual to make sure, they're really ready to serve and protect here in Monroeville.
Yes.
So you're doing evaluations throughout.
Yeah, as an FTO, after each shift, I complete a daily evaluation that I give to Robbie here, the trainee.
Anything about your service here and working in the community of Monroeville? What do you like best about serving here in Monroeville?
Something different every day, I can guarantee you that.
So from a police officer standpoint,
That's a big part of it.
yeah.
You're not doing the exact same thing all the time.
Talk a little bit about your team. You have 40 some other coworkers, and what's it like?
Yeah. You got to learn how to deal with a lot of different personalities in a bigger department.
You're not all the same.
Oh, yeah. Thankfully, No, I can only speak for our daylight shift because those are the guys I work with every day and I see more than the others.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll see them at shift change, but a lot of us on daylight, even outside of work, we're close friends. We hang out, you know.
Yeah.
So I think it keeps us a tighter department that way.
What makes Monroeville great is the longevity of our officers. It's amazing how many of these officers have served a good part of their career. Their dedication to the community, their knowledge of the community, it is there because you're just saying their commitment to one another. You've been through a lot this year with a couple officer-involved shootings and a couple of our officers actually being shot.
Yes,
what has that been like for you as a team?
I think it has solidified us in some ways.
Has it made you think a little bit differently of how you approach your day? And
yes and no, because if I came to work every day worrying about that, I would never be able to come to work.
Yeah.
I would never be able to come to work.
Yeah. And from a team standpoint, it's pulled you closer together.
It has, but like I said, we over the last 5 to 7 years, we've become a closer department because a lot of the younger guys that have been hired are familiar with each other and known each other from other departments they've worked in, as well as we got a handful that have all went to Gateway High School together and graduated maybe within a time frame of 5 years, so they all knew each other and at one time or another hung out together.
The overall project started last year, starting down near the exit off the Parkway East by Churchill. And if you notice, we got about halfway through last year, and then this year we're going to continue on for the remainder of the project out to the SR 48 intersection. Certainly to date, I want to thank all your residents for being patient with the construction that's taken place to date. We're currently wrapping up a lot of the drainage work, and as we complete that work, we're then going to be able to start getting into our paving work. So, you know, by early summer here, you're going to start to see some of the pavement happening through this section as well.
And we're here also with the bridge behind us because something big is going to happen there this summer as well.
Yes, so May 6th, we intend to close the mall structure here across 22. That's going to get a full rehabilitation, so a whole new bridge deck, the ramps will all get paved, and it's also going to get painted. And we worked with the Monroeville Council about selecting a new paint color for it, so I'm sure everybody can be looking forward to what that color is going to be when it's up in place.
Last month we talked with Public Works Director Paul Hugas about the paving program, and now we just wanted to show you how it works in the different areas, in the different applications or tools that we pull out of our toolbox to maintain the 110 miles of road here. So at this stop, Jamie, we're looking at an example of a road that was paved in 2022.
Correct.
And in 2023, it had the fog seal treatment on
Correct.
it.
So that would be the next step. We just looked at Sweetleaf that's about to receive its first fog seal. This one actually already received its first fog seal. So we're at the intersection of Sunnyfield Drive and Pine Frost Drive in Garden City. And really the only thing to look at on this road is if you were to recall from the last street, it looked already kind of oxidized and faded. It was kind of a lightish gray. This road, despite being 1 year older, is noticeably darker. And in some sections it's a little bit clearer to tell than other sections, but you can see that the surface of the asphalt is enriched with that extra tar. So, you know, when we mix asphalt and place it, the entire thickness of the asphalt has the same amount of tar in it. In this case, though, once the asphalt has been placed, UV degradation occurs to the top. The mechanical abrasion from the vehicle tires is at the top. The rainwater hits the top. The freeze thaw starts at the top. So logically, that fog seal puts a little bit of extra tar at the surface where it's needed the most to combat all those sources of degradation. So again, this is just an example of a road that was received its first preventive maintenance treatment.
Such good stuff from our Out on the Town segments thus far. To talk about what people do on a day-to-day basis is one thing, but to see it, I feel, resonates much more. In the coming months, we'll check in with a few of our fire departments and pay a visit to our library's Maker Lab as well, so stay tuned for those. Speaking of our library, not everything from today's show has been previously seen. The library recently held its 6th annual FunFest. Check out this video of the event, and we'll see you in just a minute.
Hi, I'm Carson Berg, and we are here at the 6th Annual Monroeville Library Fun Fest. This year, we're going to get a special guest appearance from Bluey. Along with Bluey, there are arts and crafts, games, inflatable rides, and so much more at this event. Let's go check out FunFest.
It's just a lot of great connection. Anytime you have the opportunity to meet with people in an informal, fun setting, you get to know the community better, which helps you to serve them better. So I think this is just a great way for different departments to connect and for people to understand that those departments are here to serve them.
My favorite part is seeing her have so much fun and all of the great events that Monroeville puts on for the community.
All the tents are my favorite, and I got a balloon animal. That's my favorite part. A unicorn. She's riding a rainbow.
And we keep hearing, we've even heard through the summer, my kids can't wait until FunFest, and that's something we really love to hear. And you can even hear just the laughter going on even behind us and everyone having a great time.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great thing that they put on, and we love it, we enjoy it, we're glad that they put it on for us.
As the 6th Annual FunFest comes to a close, the day has been filled with fun, excitement, and communities coming together. I'm Carson Berg for Monroeville Municipal Television.
Welcome back to the show. Community events typically surround holidays or specific dates on a calendar. Here in Monroeville, we're always looking for a good reason to have a communal gathering of some kind. Many times, our TV department is right there to capture it all. Here's a look at some of the best moments from community events of this year.
Like we said, we drive on this road basically a couple times a week, if not every day. So it's important to keep it nice and take care of where we live.
Please remember our fallen. Please remember our soldiers and sailors and airmen and Marines that are still serving this great nation.
I feel that Monroeville should be a hub for this sport. I mean, pickleball is the fastest growing sport around. People that come here are really friendly, and you create a lot of friendships with this game.
We want you to have an opportunity to get involved with our show. Submit questions to be answered right here on Monroeville at your service. Send those to our Monroeville TV department via Facebook or email, and I'll answer those right here on the show. Today's question is one I often hear. How can I get involved in Monroeville projects or volunteer initiatives? First, I would start by answering this question to encourage everyone to visit our website and see the variety of boards and activities we have going on. Next, I would welcome people to reach out directly to me. After we connect and discuss your interest, I may be able to come up with ideas of how you can plug in. If interested, please reach out to me and we'll get the conversation started. Earlier this year, after my appointment as Monroeville's municipal manager, I initiated the development of a strategic plan for the municipality. This plan aims to guide meaningful outcomes and improve all aspects of our local government services as I continue serving the community. To gather input, I held meetings with elected officials and department heads, preceded by distributing questionnaires, draft versions of our mission, vision, values, and desired outcomes were included in these questionnaires, and the focus of our strategic planning sessions. A core group of municipal staff and our summer intern, Kevin Bertha, refined these statements based on feedback from the meetings and questionnaires. A revised draft was then reviewed in an additional planning session and shared in a follow-up survey sent to all Monroeville staff. As a result, the draft presented to the Council in August reflects the collective efforts of our many individuals, and I'm proud of its strong focus on serving our community. One critical step in Monroeville's strategic planning process is the formal adoption of our mission, vision, values, and desired outcomes by the Monroeville Council, and their involvement is critical to ensure these guiding principles are incorporated into the 2025 budget message. The final budget is set to be adopted in December. On September 10th, 2024, the Council formally adopted our mission, vision, values, and desired outcomes by resolution, making a significant milestone in both our strategic planning efforts and the preparation of the 2025 budget. This adoption underscores the progress we've made and sets the stage for the next phase of our planning. The resolution adopted puts this statement into effect from 2024 through 2025. It defines how mission, vision, values, and desired outcomes will be used and how often the Council will review them. The statement of beliefs will impact everything we do, from budget to hiring to policing and plowing. They will be a standard to which we measure all our efforts. I encourage each of you to review the resolution adopting the 2024-2025 mission, vision, values. Your understanding and support of this document is critical for the successful implementation of our strategic plan. You can find a copy of the resolution on the municipality's homepage at www.monroeville.pa.us. Be on the lookout for the upcoming editions of Monroeville at your service. Next month, we'll sit down with our finance department and dig into some items related to our municipal budget. Find our show on our cable TV channels, Comcast 21 and Verizon 45, as well as all episodes archived on the MMTV YouTube page. Speaking of the YouTube page, if you like what you saw today and want to see full versions of any of the previous editions of our show, head over to YouTube and search Monroeville TV. There you'll find the MMTV channel with access to all the video content produced by our TV department, from government meetings to community events, and of course, this show, Monroeville, at your service.